A question with the candidates. Learn more right after this.
My college offers classes that meet my educational and career goals,
with opportunities outside the classroom,
where the faculty know me by name.
My college can prepare me for my career.
I can earn an associate's degree and transfer credits toward my bachelor's.
My college is a state college within the university system of Georgia.
My college is affordable.
It's close to home.
My college has online opportunities.
It's where excellence begins.
We are
GHC, Georgia Highlands College.
Welcome to Community Watch. Greg.
Doug.
Another in our series of shows interviewing candidates for office. The election coming up soon, November 8th. Today we'll be talking with candidates who are running for Floyd County Board of Education, District 5.
Okay.
And our first guest is Democratic candidate Joyce Mink. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And we're going to go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Ms. Meeks, what are the primary duties of a member of the Board of Education?
The school superintendent is primarily responsible, obviously, for setting the position, operating the school system. The school board's positions should be, the school board's actions should be based on really a yes or no or a conference with the superintendent who's been hired to guide the school system. So as far as having input into the schools, it requires a very positive relationship between the board members themselves and among them and the school administrators as well. So the school board member can just sit back and basically do nothing or just represent the interest of his or her school, or the school board member can have, hopefully, present a point of view to the school system that maybe has not been being there. For example, I was a former teacher and I retired after 29 years in education. And so I might present a slightly different point of view that's based on a good bit of experience in the field. And so I think having somebody with that much experience and that much opportunity to interact with other teachers, I think that would give me a good way to impact the school system itself.
Okay. Do you support Amendment 1 on the November 8th ballot, which would allow the state to take chronically failing schools away from local boards and districts and place them in a state-run opportunity school district? And explain your position on Amendment 1.
Okay. How much time do I have? I would like to say, first of all, that I think it's horrible that there are schools that are chronically failing students. There are some schools that traditionally have not done a really good job in getting students the education they need. On the other hand, how do we know exactly how bad these schools are? A lot of what they're using is an index that is not really very open and transparent to the public or to even teachers in school systems in terms of what they're using to evaluate. So, how bad a school is really almost always very subjective instead of you can't be, you can't find an objective criteria that's going to tell you exactly whether a school is failing or not. Really, it has to do with what the children are like when they come out of the school system, but that again is based on what the children are like when they come into the school system. So from my perspective, it seems that the first logical thing to do would be to fix the problem at the local level, because the Opportunity School District Amendment, while I think maybe the intention is good, I would first like to see them teachers who are professionals and who have been taught and trained how to deal with students. I'd like to see them ask those teachers how to fix the schools. And I'm sure one of the first things they'd say is reduce our class sizes. If you look at the school systems around here right now, lots of high school classrooms, you have 35 to 37 kids sometimes sitting in a classroom. How can you have the kind of impact on a student that you need to have if you've got that many students in one room? And so from my perspective, it seems to me that if you would fully fund education, hire more teachers that are well qualified, place the best qualified teachers in schools that are failing schools, and give them a bonus for doing it. Tell them you're not going to question their ability or give them a bad evaluation at the end of the year based on a child's test scores if he comes to them not knowing anything to begin with. You know, you shouldn't have to take one test at the end of the year and determine whether a teacher is a good teacher or not. So I would say fully fund schools first and then ask teachers how to fix it. The Opportunity School District Amendment is based on, and Governor Deal would tell you this, based on two states, Louisiana and Tennessee, I believe. And both of those are moving away from it now because it hasn't been effective. So why do we want a constitutional amendment passed that is going to allow us to do the same thing that then failed in other states?
Has the Floyd County school system done an adequate job in recruiting and maintaining a diverse workforce? What is the percentage of minority teachers in the system?
I don't know the percentage off the top of my head for the number of minority teachers. I would love to see more minority or a variety of diverse group of teachers in our system. I would especially like to see more more mature men, and if we could find Hispanic or Black in this area in particular, because there's so many students who would benefit from having those role models in their lives, especially, in my opinion, at the elementary level.
Okay. What would you say to parents who are considering sending their children to private schools in the county, such as Unity Christian or Darlington? Why would you feel the county schools are the better choice?
Right now, Floyd County schools have been, like most schools in Georgia, pinching pennies and having fewer teachers than they need on budget and so forth. I would like to see that improve to the point that I could honestly say to other people, if you choose to send your child to Darlington and you're willing to shell out those bucks, go for it. But we can provide our children here with a great education. I had my children all graduated. I have 5, and they all graduated from public schools, and all of them are doing just fine in their lives. And you know, I'm very proud of them. And I have 6 grandchildren currently in Floyd County schools. And so obviously I'm putting my family where my mouth is in terms of this. I think we can have, and of course, now I'm in Cave Spring, and I am absolutely certain Cave Spring is a wonderful little school. And then when my students go off to Coosa, I do like everybody else does and whine and complain because I can't see them every day and I don't have the same kind of interaction. But my children who went to school in public schools instead of private schools have done just fine. And I think it kind of depends on what your goal is for your child.
Why are you interested in running for the position, and what skills do you have which make you the best candidate?
Okay. I have several. Well, I've already said I have 6 children. I had a grandson who graduated last year from Coosa, and I have 6 other grandchildren who are associated currently with the Floyd County schools. And so I have a vested interest in seeing that those schools do well. I was a teacher for 29 years, and I retired. I taught some in Polk County, some in Floyd County, and some in Haralson County. I retired from Polk County, Cedartown High School. I had 29 years in education, and I feel that because of my 29 years in education, I have a very good grasp of what schools ought to be. My daddy used to say, you're either part of the problem or part of the solution. Which do you want to be? And I thought about it one day when I was complaining about something that I saw in the newspaper, actually had to do, I think, with the embezzlement stuff. And so I could just practically hear my daddy speaking to me from way back in the day, saying, you part of the problem or part of the solution. I thought, you know, I can be part of this solution. I'd like to see our schools partner with businesses better in our communities. I'd like to see more internships. I'd like to see us treating, and I hope this doesn't sound as, I'd like to see our students in our schools, especially at the high school level, treated like consumers. Because what we need to do is provide what they're going to need in order to have a good life. Once upon a time, you could give them a general background in education. Today, I don't think you can do that same thing. I think today you have to teach them to think critically and to be able to apply the knowledge that we give them to other situations. Because I watched a thing last night on television talking about artificial intelligence. My grandchild's life is going to be so different from mine. How can we prepare our children for something that we can't conceive? And I think that's a very important factor, that we need to provide our children with the ability to adapt and to think critically. And I'm afraid what we're doing right now, we're focusing so much on testing and standardized tests and factoids, memorizing stuff for those tests, that we're not teaching them how to make decisions and how to apply information. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to be able to use the information that you have learned in your high school to make your better decision in where to buy a car or how to finance it or which house to buy or what school district. We need to do this kind of stuff. Teach our students these kinds of things in public schools, and then they'll be able to apply that information later on.
All right. Floyd County Schools is a charter system. Do you believe the charter system has been a good choice for the county? Why or why not?
At the time that they decided to become a charter system, I didn't have an opinion one way or the other. I was I was teaching at the time in Cedartown, and so I just looked at it and kind of scratched my head and thought, that's interesting. The more I have looked at it, the more I see that there's so many options that we could use. And I looked at several school systems that have found that to be effective, notably Carrollton City Schools, where they have managed to partner with businesses and the people in the community, have such a strong support system for those schools that the schools are constantly being approved, are held up as examples for others. In Floyd County, I think maybe we've kind of dragged our feet, probably in part because of some of the other issues that we've been facing. But I'd like to see us beginning to reach out and explore some of the things that we can do along those lines. Working with businesses and letting them help teach the students what they'd like, what they need in their employees. Southwire, for example, and Tanner Medical are routinely giving Carrollton students the information that they need, and when they graduate, they're already a step up, ready to go to work there part-time while they go to school. And we could offer those same kinds of things once we develop that partnership. And we've done a little of it. We have done some, but probably not as much as I think we could do.
3 years ago, the Floyd County Schools had a reduction in force and over 100 employees lost their job in an effort to save money. In retrospect, was that a good move on the county's part? What could or should have been done differently?
Well, somebody should have caught the fact that millions of dollars were being stolen from the system, because that's part of the reason they had to do that. I think it's a terrible move. Many cases, the people who, well, I know of 3 teachers who were part of the reduction in force. 2 of those teachers were teachers of the year at their school. Parents were standing in line at the principal's office asking to get their children in those classes. We have got to bring and maintain good teachers. That's the heart of the school system. We have to hire good teachers and let them teach. And what we've been doing is cutting back, increasing class size, doing all those things. And instead, what we've got to do is start a whole different focus. Instead, we give the teachers the opportunity to reach out and teach students.
Well, thank you for being with us today. We're going to take a break. Don't go away.
My college offers classes that meet my educational and career goals,
with opportunities outside the classroom.
Where the faculty know me by name.
My college can prepare me for my career.
I can earn an associate's degree and transfer credits toward my bachelor's.
My college is a state college within the university system of Georgia.
My college is affordable.
It's close to home.
My college has online opportunities.
It's where excellence begins.
We are
We are
GHC, Georgia Highlands College.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We've been joined by Melinda Jeffers, who is a Republican candidate for Floyd County Board of Education District 5. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you very much.
We're going to go ahead and get started.
Okay.
What are the primary duties of a member of the Board of Education?
The primary duties are to make sure that fiscally that things are running smoothly, that things are being used where they're supposed to be. I also think it's a sounding board for teachers and administrators to let us know what's going on in their schools, because ultimately we can't be everywhere at the same time. So we really need the people in the schools to let us know what's going on. Every company needs a board of trustees, and I kind of look at it as that we make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. We're a sounding board, so I think that's really important.
All right. Do you support Amendment 1 on the November 8th ballot, which would allow the state to take chronically failing schools away from local boards and districts and place them in a state-run opportunity school district? Explain your position.
I am not at all for that, not at all. I think whenever government gets involved, it becomes impersonal. Who knows our students better than the local school districts? I taught for 20 years, and we knew the families at our school. It was a small neighborhood school, and we knew our families. We knew the ones that were economically challenged. We knew the ones, so we were familiar with them. I just don't think an appointed staff from the government can give the same attention that local schools. I think we need to make sure that our teachers are quality teachers, make sure that they are highly qualified, and that we need to make sure that they are up to date with the modern technology, with modern the way, and not old school. I grew up old school. That was fine. But nowadays, our students are coming to us with a lot of different needs. And we can't continue to teach them the way we were taught. The world is a totally different world than the way we were taught. So we have to make sure that we are meeting the needs of the students. We have to look at the failing schools and look at where are they failing? I would like to see the government, okay, what can we do to support the local counties? What can we do to support the teachers and give them the things that they need? Maybe perhaps by giving incentives, for those teachers who choose to take on a failing school. Let them throw it out there. Who would like to come and change the dynamics of this school? And I think I know that Floyd County has wonderful teachers, very highly skilled teachers. Dr. Jackson, he knows what's going on. Floyd County wouldn't have chosen him if he didn't. So I think we need to use the people that we have already employed, give them support, give them incentives, and watch them turn it around. Parents give us the best that they've got. Their students, children are not cookie cutters. So the parents, They give us the best that they have. And so we have to look at those children as individuals, precious commodities that we have to nurture, mold, and we do whatever we can to do that. And so, no, I'm totally against. And I like Governor Deal. I like him, but I'm totally against what he's trying to do in Amendment 1.
Okay.
Has the Floyd County school system done an adequate job in recruiting and maintaining a diverse workforce? What is the percentage of minority teachers in this system?
I'm ashamed to say I don't know. I don't know that, but I think that, no, I don't think Floyd County has done what they can do to have a diverse staff. And I think we need to we have to look outside the box. And when you look at what is the population of Floyd County, in order to give our students the bigger picture, the world is a small world, and the more technology, the more that we learn, the closer things are. We have a small world, and we need to give them a snapshot of what this world is. And I think by bringing in diversity, by bringing in different nationalities, people who even teach different things, I think that's really important. I think it's very important that that we hire men, especially African American men, that they need the role models. They need to know. They need to be able to look and see. This is what this is a good model of what our society should look like. Well, I think Hispanic, we need some more Hispanic. Our Hispanic population is getting bigger by the day. And I think we need to encourage educators. We need to encourage, at the college level, we need to encourage young people to get into education so that we can hire them and they can give us a bigger picture of the world that we live in and give our students different opportunities and different viewpoints.
Okay. What would you say to parents who are considering sending their children to private schools in the county, such as Unity Christian or Darlington? Why would you feel the county schools are the better choice?
I would say to those parents, you've got to do what your conscience tells you. You've got to do what your heart tells you. We are not going to teach them religion or whatever, but we need you. Floyd County, we need you. We need parents like you, parents who want to be involved in their students' education. I would like to say that give us a chance. Your children, it takes the support at home to guide and direct the children, their friends, and it takes parents who are involved in their education to make a good school system. So you're only going to get as good as you give. And if I would just say, let's give us a try. You can teach your child what you need to do, what your conscience. You can teach them through Sunday school, through whatever religious background you are. But if you want a good diversity of students, a good diversity of staff, just like we talked about earlier, give us a try and see what we can do.
Okay.
Why are you interested in running for the position, and what skills do you have which make you the best candidate?
Well, I have a lot to bring to the table. I have been in education 25 years. I taught, and before that, I was older when my children were in middle school when I decided to go back to college. So in order to help them and be on the same schedule, I took a job as a lunchroom. So I've been a lunchroom worker. I know what it's like to pack a stockroom in, below zero. I have been a head custodian. I know what it's like in the summers to strip floors. I know what it's like to paint buildings and dust and clean. I know what it's like. I've been a parapro with EBD children. I've been a classroom teacher 20 years. I have a lot to bring to the table. The job that I do right now is I work at Cave Springs Center, which is a facility for young adults with learning disabilities. I guess that's my passion. That's my platform. Is we are not preparing the students that are in special ed. we could do a lot better job in preparing them to join our workforce. They have a lot to offer. We just have to show them. We have to encourage them and direct them in the right way, and because they have a lot to offer us. So I have a lot of experience to take to the table.
All right. Floyd County Schools is a charter system. Do you believe the charter system has been a good choice for the county? Why or why not?
It's a wonderful choice. I came from Hall County, which is Gainesville, and it is they have really worked their charter system to the max. And there is so much more Floyd County could do. We are not even touching the surface of the positive things that charter schools can do. Howard Gardner, who is a behaviorist, he says that there are at least 9 intelligences that people have. It's not just a pencil and paper intelligence. And in Hall County, each school takes one of those intelligence, music, fine arts, math and science, and they focus. They take the children where they're at and they focus their education on the things that they're interested in. And so we have not even begun to do that. Transportation might be a little bit of an issue, but we can work through that. The charter system, it is an open door, and it's really everything that our students in a high school level. We think on the high school level a lot, but elementary school in a charter system is fantastic. You guide and direct and encourage for them in the areas that they are strong in.
All right.
3 years ago, the Floyd County Schools had a reduction in force and over 100 employees lost their job in an effort to save money. In retrospect, was that a good move on the county's part? What could or should have been done differently?
Well, if what I remember, I wasn't here at that time. I was, but I was teaching at Georgia School for the Deaf, so I really wasn't involved in that. I know that there was a lot of things going on with the school board. Some wrong things that were happening in the school board. It's a shame that we had to have a reduction in staff and good teachers in order to make up for the fall of some very irresponsible people. I always think that teachers need to come first. We need to have enough teachers. We need to have the teacher is the heart of the classroom. It's the heart of the school system, and that's what we need to focus on, and it's a shame. And I know some really good teachers that got the axe.
Multiple arrests have been made in connection with the theft of millions of dollars of Floyd County school funds. Have adequate protections been put into place to make sure this never happens again?
I think that the board has done a great job cleaning up the mess that was created. I think we need accountability. We need transparency, and it needs to be an open policy. Parents need to be able to look to see exactly where the money's going, and if you have nothing to hide, you hide nothing. And we need to have transparency and accountability.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we will be right back after this. Don't go away.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We've been talking with the candidates for the Floyd County Board of Education, District 5. Be sure to vote November 8th. The election is November 8th, coming up very soon. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next time on Community Watch.